I'm Sharon. You know, it's been a few years since I rode on one of these, but I remember in all the years I took the bus to school, we were lucky. We never had an emergency where we had to evacuate the bus. Still, we were ready. We knew that crashes do happen on the road, so we practiced emergency evacuations, and we knew what to do if there was trouble. Now, traveling by school bus is very safe, but the unexpected can happen, and I want you kids to be ready if it does, and that's what we'll talk about today. I know that you ride different kinds of buses, so we'll look at several of them, and several kinds of exits, including doors, windows, and even roof hatches. We'll see how to use them and when to use them.
AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, saving lives through research and education.
Hi, I'm Sharon Hendricks. Millions of students take the bus to school in North America, and it's a safe way to go. In fact, the numbers show that it's much safer than traveling by car. But of course, emergencies do happen, and they sometimes require a quick evacuation of the bus. That's what we'll talk about today. We'll see how you can prepare yourself and your students for the unexpected and help keep everyone safe. Now, the first question to consider is, when do you evacuate? The answer? Only when absolutely necessary. Remember, there are situations where your kids will be much safer staying on the bus. For example, if you break down but can pull well off the roadway. There are times, however, when you may have to act quickly and evacuate. If your bus is stopped and is in danger of being hit, like on the shoulder in heavy fog or just over a hill. If you're stranded on a railroad grade crossing, or if there's fire or danger of fire. Now, not all situations will be this clear-cut. Maybe you've pulled over after a minor accident, or you're stalled near a hill or cliff, a threatening body of water, a hazardous spill. Here's what should guide you. If the danger is increased by staying on the bus, it's time to get your kids out. Next question, which way out? I'm sure you know, buses come in many different exit configurations. There are front doors in combination with back doors or side doors. There are wheelchair lifts, exit windows, and roof hatches. We'll look at each of these so that you'll be prepared to quickly choose the safest way out of your bus and then successfully evacuate your kids. But first, here are several things you can do in advance that will help you be fully prepared for emergencies. As a part of your regular pre-trip inspection, check exit latches. Make sure they can be opened easily. Check the placement and condition of your safety equipment. Keep an updated list of students that ride your bus. And learn how to get to exits by counting seats. In a bus filling with smoke, you may not be able to see the exits. Also, remember that once your bus is loaded, you should make sure exits are never blocked by things like musical instruments and athletic equipment. And, as we'll soon see, you'll need to pick kids to be helpers and leaders who'll be able to assist with the evacuation. Make sure they're sitting near the exits, and don't pick kids who are last on or first off. Okay, one last thing before we get going. In the event of an emergency evacuation, you'll need to remain as calm as possible. Remember, Your kids will only be calm and controlled if you are. Anyway, planning and practice are the keys, and that's why we're here today. First, let's look at a set of actions you need to perform quickly and automatically right before any evacuation. Once you've made the decision to evacuate, you should turn on your hazard lights, put the bus in gear or in park, set the parking brake, and turn the key to accessory or remove it. Then call in the emergency if you have a two-way radio, providing whatever information your district requires. And if your district allows it, drop the radio mic and your first aid kit out the window for later use. This sequence of actions should be automatic, and again, practice is the key. Okay, now it's time to get your kids safely out. Face your students and in a calm but strong voice, announce the evacuation.
Attention students, I'm going to have a front door evacuation. Helper, I need you to take the position.
Direct your helper to get in position just outside the door, ready to help small kids off the bus. Then, instruct your leader where to take the kids. Pick a spot at least 100 feet or 30 meters away from the bus and safely away from traffic. Then position yourself facing the front of the bus and release the kids one seat at a time, beginning with the front right seat. In a calm voice, tell them to walk and not push, and remind them to leave all their lunch boxes and knapsacks behind. And for safety at the door, instruct the kids to use the handrail, and smaller kids to take the helper's hand as they exit. Throughout the evacuation, you'll also have to keep an eye on kids already out of the bus. They should be following the leader, single file to the designated safe waiting area, and the leader should see to it that no one wanders off. Once you've released the last kids, start at the rear and inspect every seat as you move to the front, checking for any remaining kids. On the way out, grab your student list and any necessary safety equipment. Place reflectors to protect the scene. And then join your students at the safe waiting area. Finally, keep everyone together as a group until assistance arrives.
Now, what about the question of speed? How fast do you need to evacuate?
Well, you don't want to rush. That invites accident and injury. But having said that, you and your kids have to learn how to get out as quickly as possible while maintaining safety. Remember that while many evacuations may be controlled, you have no control over a fire or approaching train. You may have 2 minutes or less to empty your bus and get your kids to safety. Something to think about as you plan for and practice your evacuations. Okay, now let's look at a rear door evacuation. All the basic principles of the front door procedure apply. However, the release of students is conducted from the rear of the bus, and the height of the rear door requires extra caution. Once again, in a calm but strong voice, announce the evacuation.
Students, I need your attention. We're going to do a rear door evacuation. I need you to
Move to the rear door and have 2 student helpers open and go out the emergency door, followed by your student leader. This time you direct the students to exit from your position at the rear of the bus, beginning with the right rear seat. Remind kids to duck their heads if necessary, and to place their hands on the shoulders of the helpers as they jump down. You may want to help some of the students sit and scoot. Sit on the edge of the bus and scoot out, with the assistance of the helpers if needed. Doing this makes for the shortest jump down. Once again, you should check carefully for any remaining students. Grab your student list and any necessary safety equipment. Place your reflectors, and then join your group at the safe waiting area. And one other thing, to evacuate a bus that's filling with smoke, your students will need to know that they must stay low, below the smoke, and feel their way to the exit.
Students, I need your attention. We're going to evacuate the bus by the right side door. please.
What do you get when you put the engine in the rear of the bus? You get a bus with side door exits. Again, the basic evacuation principles remain the same, but there are two special considerations. If you drive a transit-style bus that has two side exits, it's best to use the side away from traffic, usually the right side exit. And of course, you'll have to practice a new exit pattern. Children seated to the rear of the door should exit first, and then those seated toward the front. You should release the kids, alternating seats, from your position by the side door. Again, remind the kids to duck and jump, or sit and scoot, and to follow the leader, single file to the safe waiting area. If the right side exit door is blocked and it's necessary to use the left exit door, caution the kids to watch for cars and stay close to the bus as they move to safety. When are two doors better than one? When the speed of the evacuation is very important and both exits are safe to use. You'll need to set a dividing line, and you may want to mark this in advance with tape. Move to the dividing line and have the students toward the front begin their evacuation out the front door. Then move to the rear exit and assist students sitting behind the dividing line as they evacuate out this door. And remember, to do this you'll need helpers and leaders for both exits, with the leaders directing the kids to the same safe waiting area. Evacuating out more than one exit will work on other bus types, using the front door and a side door, or two side doors. But again, be careful. The door opening on the traffic side must be safe to use, and kids must be warned to check for traffic. Front doors, back doors, side doors. You have several options for getting out. But in a worst-case scenario, like a bus on its side, these exits might be blocked. So where are you going to go? Check this out. It's a roof with a view. Most newer buses have escape hatches like this one, and they can be a lifesaver. However, there are many kinds, so know how yours works and show your kids how to open it. They should know how to get out of this and every exit by themselves, just in case you're not able to help them. There's still one other way out, the windows. Some buses are even equipped with special emergency window exits. Now, your district may not want you to practice a window exit, but you should still make sure your students know they can use windows if necessary. There are windows that flip open horizontally and vertically that helpers may need to hold open during an evacuation. You'll need to show your students how the ones on your bus work. Show them how the windows release and how helpers assist. How to ease out feet first. How they could step on the bus molding for support. And what they would do to safely drop to the ground. Also, if you drive a rear-engine bus, show your kids how to open and secure the rear hatch. This is another important way out if the bus is on its side. And as a last resort, on many buses the front windshield can be kicked out or punched out with the fire extinguisher. Your students can then slide down the front of the bus with assistance from the student helpers. Here's one last situation to consider. Many special needs children are mainstream these days and ride general education buses. If you drive a bus equipped to carry both regular and special needs kids, you'll need to know the abilities of these kids and what additional assistance might be required during evacuation. Many special needs kids will be able to evacuate themselves, and if the wheelchair lift is operational, you may only need to release the restraints of the wheelchair-bound student and then begin to release your general ed students. Always use the lift if the speed of the evacuation is not critical. And keep in mind that a wheelchair lift lowered halfway can also be a quick two-step exit path for your regular ed kids. Now, if the lift is not working or the speed of the evacuation is critical, then very special procedures are required. These may involve the cutting of restraint belts and special lifting and dragging techniques. If you're transporting any special needs kids, it's strongly recommended that you complete the training required of special needs drivers. Well, we've covered a lot of information, but it all comes down to 3 key points. First, know your bus. Know how to get to every exit by counting seats if you have to, and make sure that you and your kids know how to operate every exit mechanism without hesitation. Second, know your kids. Keep an up-to-date list of students that ride your bus and any special requirements they may have. And choose responsible helpers and leaders and instruct them carefully. And finally, plan ahead for different kinds of emergencies and practice. Following your district's guidelines, you should practice with your kids to the point where you're all comfortable with every evacuation procedure, and where they could perform an evacuation without you if it was necessary. I hope you'll never be faced with an on-the-road emergency, but with a little practice, I'm confident you'll always be ready for the unexpected. Thanks for your time, and have a safe school year.
Leading the way into a safer future. The AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety continues to save lives through research and education.